You can watch the session later. Thank you very much, Esther. So it seems like it was sounding like you were threatening us. Why? Why are you threatening my people, please? That was how it sounded. But it's amazing being here, being the 8th of March 2025. I'm trying to make sure that I fix the date well. Can you all hear me? Please confirm you can hear me. All right. All right. Great. Yeah, so, all right. Thank you very much, Mr. Peter. I see that many of us here were in my last session. And I promised you that I was going to be coming more to your face. And today I am here on your face. And so I want to, this month, actually, you're going to be seeing me every weekend. And the subsequent month, you're going to be seeing me almost every weekend. And so you want to fix your weekend with me. This time every weekend, 7 p.m. I'm committed to making sure that everything that needs to be done to be able to achieve that which we need to achieve for the year 2025 would be done. You would agree with me that we all need push. Even I myself, I need push. So you guys are going to be my accountability partner whilst I am your accountability partner. So we're going to push ourselves to making sure that we get to that destination that we need to get to. Who is happy to be here tonight? If you're happy to be here, let me see it in the chat box. Alright, so what you want to do for me right now, we still have about a few minutes. In 7:30 I will go in. If you can go on your social media platform, just follow Samson Uyi Speak on Instagram. Do that quickly, Samson Uyi Speak on Instagram. You can join my live session there and also share with your friends. So you, for every of us online, you want to share with your friends, please share with your friends. Let's have more people enjoy this benefit. Let's have more people coming. So we are live on my personal page on Instagram and also live on my YouTube page. So whichever platform that you can get to, I can hear myself back. I can hear myself. Please, Esther, you want to mute? Who is that? Please mute. So please share on Instagram, share on Facebook, share the live session. I can see you guys are here. Thank you very much. I'm glad to be here. Share it with your friends. Let everybody come in. I will be kick starting by 7:30. Today, I'm going to be starting a series for this month. I'm going to be talking about a very, very important topic of our life, which is vision. I'm sure you agree with me that vision is one thing that is very much important. The scripture said it this way. It said, write out the vision and make it plain so that he that sees it may run with it. It is very much important. That is why the scripture is emphasizing that we write it out. If it's not important, it will be just one topic that will just pass, mentioned once and pass. But if you check through everything that was done in the good book, you would see that God intentionally would help people to see clearly where they are going to before they even get there. So you want to do me a favor by sharing with your friends. Share with your friends. I'm expecting more persons to come live. Alright, so whilst you're doing that, let me just prepare for my slide. Please mute yourself. Because of the headphone I'm wearing, mute yourself. Alright, whilst you're doing that, let me just prepare for my slide. Share with your friends. If you're coming in, share live session. Good to have you guys live. Good to have you live. You're going to be seeing me on your face every weekend. We are actually going to push ourselves together to making sure that we achieve that which we need to achieve this 2025. I have been privileged to have conversations with a lot of persons, and one thing that I've been able to figure out is the ability to push ourselves beyond that which we're doing right now. So I am putting myself in that position to see that we can all push ourselves to make sure that we achieve that we need to achieve. I'll be talking about vision today. This is very, very important. Very important. I still have about 5 minutes more. So you want to share with your friends, share with your enemies, share with whoever you think needs to be here. That person bugging you, share with them. It's very important. Share with them. (7:30) I will kickstart the session. Thank you for joining us live. Please share this session with your friends, share with your enemy if possible. Just make sure you're sharing it. And get your writing materials, because this is actually going to be a very insightful class. You don't want to miss it. It's going to be a very insightful one. So get your writing materials ready. Like I said, it's actually going to be a series. So I'm going to be doing the first series for this month. I hope we're sharing. Please share with your friends, share with your friends, share with your friends. Yeah, once again, if you're just joining us, welcome. I will kickstart in 1 minute. In 1 minute, I'm kicking off. Yeah, I think we're good to go. All right, welcome to this wonderful session. So I decided to start up the series for us so that we can actually get better, not just at what we are doing presently, but also at the things that we're actually going to be doing in the future. And if you're a salesperson here, you would agree with me that you need a lot of push, a lot of motivation to get into that which you are ordained to do. The sales business is not an easy one. It's not an easy one at all. But the thing is, we can always get better at it. I believe so far from my experience, with the right information, the right knowledge, and the right set of people in your corner, you can actually get better and better at what you're doing. And so that is why I'm starting up this session. So if you're with me, I want you to say yes. Just wave if you're with me. You can wave in the chat box if you're with me. All right, I can see that you guys can hear me. Thank you very much. So let's get started. 1 minute, please. I had a little delay, so I'm having issue loading up my slide. So I'm going to start with a very interesting story that one of my mentors shared lately. Not lately though, I came across it a very long time ago, and then I came across it again whilst I was preparing for this session. And it was a story of a girl, a very young girl, that went to fishing with her father, and something interesting happened during that session. They were all adults there, so they were taller than her, so they could see far beyond her. They could see far beyond the sea that she was not seeing. And then she was, out of curiosity, she was trying to imagine what they were feeling and what they were saying. So the father said, okay, so this is what I would do. I would carry you on my shoulder. So the father carried her on his shoulder, and she was taller than every other person. Now, what that means to her was the fact that she could see farther than every other person in the boat could see. And so she could see beyond the sea. She could see what the people that felt like they were taller than her, they could see earlier, could not see. And she kept screaming, "Daddy, Daddy, I can see farther, I can see." And the father was, out of curiosity, wanted to know what exactly she was seeing. So the father asked her, "What are you seeing?" And she said something. She said, "I can see farther than my eyes can see. Farther than my eyes can look. I can see farther than my eyes can look." And this statement got stuck with me. And when I was starting my journey into life properly, when I started my development journey, I realized that one of the major things that every single person was emphasizing on was the power of vision. The power of vision. So it was something I wanted to figure out. I wanted to be sure what exactly why was everybody talking about vision? It was something that I kept asking myself. I couldn't see at that point in time, because it was more like a word to me. It was just there. Oh, vision, vision, vision. I opened the dictionary meaning for vision, and then you could see the dictionary meaning. But it was far beyond that for me. The greatest men of all time, the great men I was looking up to, they were emphasizing this. As at that time, I was listening to Tony Robbins more. If you don't know Tony Robbins, I think you want to do research about him. And this was one thing that Tony actually emphasized on. So I got stuck to it. Out of curiosity, I wanted to know, and so I began to read a lot about vision, and I realized that everything that was created and would ever be created was created on vision. Now listen, God created everything on raw materials. It is your ability to see beyond the raw materials that creates the things that we see today. I'm sure that many of us are sitting on furniture right now. If you're not sitting maybe on your bed, but you're actually on the furniture. It is the ability of a man seeing beyond a wood or a tree that you can see the furniture that you see today. It is the ability of a man seeing beyond the present situation that creates the future that we want. So what is vision? Vision is the ability to see beyond the things that you can see right now. My mentor put it this way. He says, is your ability to create a mental picture of the future. I'm sure that many of us have come across books, read books, listened to tapes on vision, and then it just go past. But I am here tonight not to tell you something new, actually, but to bring to your reminder the things that you need to start putting in place if you want a better life for yourself in 2025. We have great desires, but when you don't have a mental picture of what exactly you want, every of the road looks like the road. So, how do I mean by this? Your destination determines the route that you go through. Now, if you don't have a clear picture of your destination in mind, every of the road that comes through you looks like it. The scripture put it this way. He said, I'm trying to look for the exact word King James actually used. I just go through it. So what I'm trying to say is this: the destination of where we are headed determines the route that we'll go through. But the challenge we have today is that many actually don't know the destination. So now it's not your fault that you don't know the destination. The truth is this: the economy or the situations at which we fall into can actually cause a change or cause a derail from the destination that we want to head. Are you guys following me? Are you with me? Thank you, Felix, for that. So vision is a mental picture of the future. So it's not me trying to create rhymes. It's just that God did not design everybody to go everywhere. He had designed something specifically for you. So if He had designed something specifically for you, your duty as a person is to create a mental picture of it. And you will see from the scripture over and over again. Now, for those of us that are not Christians here, you might not be familiar with the scripture, but even in the Quran, I'm sure that you are familiar with the story of Abraham. When God called Abraham, that you call Abraham, when God called Abraham out of his father's house, God had to create a mental picture for him to move. He could not see beyond it. But God realized that, see, if I want this guy to be effective at what he's going to do for me in the future, I have to create a mental picture for him. So what God did was to call him out, and then at night he had to show him the stars. And he said to him, he said, as far as your eyes can see. I'm saying to somebody tonight, as far as your eyes can see. The truth is this: there is no limitation for anybody. No limitation. And let me bring myself into this. I'm sure that there are some persons on this live right now that actually grew up with me. I have a couple of my friends way back on this live that joined this session, and something really I want to share. I grew up in a very not a, I don't want to use the word demeaning community, but it was a community where everybody was struggling. It's either you're a bus conductor, you play football actively, or you are a thief. So either you find your way playing football. Education was not part of it. If you see one or two persons educated amongst us, it means that person actually went beyond the community to find a way, or they got somebody. And the only way I got out of that community was because I got somebody that could pull me out. And then God actually helped. Thank God for my parents. As much as they tried to protect us from the whole thing happening in that economy, but it was a crazy place. I grew up in. I was thinking about it. I was just thinking about it, and I realized that we're 4 in numbers, and we grew up in a room. And I was asking myself, my apartment is more than a room right now, and I asked myself, and it feels too small. I asked myself, how did my parents survive in that one room with 4 children? And the room, if I tell you the size of that room, you can count your steps in that room. So it wasn't that I came from a privileged background, and to what I am doing right now, if I check my past and what I am doing at the moment, it's way apart from each other. I drove past where I grew up some months back, and I could not wind down because I could still see my friends back then on the streets, still hanging out, trying to smoke, trying to have something to drink. I'm not saying this against them, but it's a testimony of what God had done from where I was and where I am right now. And I'm not even anywhere close to where I want to be. But whilst I was in that place, at age 14, I could tell you that I was actively working for myself. I was actively earning income for myself at age 14. Some of you at age 14 are still in your parents' house trying to still open your parents to feed you. At 14, I think I was working as a LASMA officer. Yes, at 14. I was working as a VIO officer. Yes, I was the youngest of the VIO then. It was more like an IT for me. And then I moved from being a VIO officer down to working in different factories just to get earnings for myself. But the thing was this: whilst I was working in those places, as much as my dreams were not really, really big, it was something that I knew that this life was not for me. I told myself then, when internet fraud, which we know as Yahoo Yahoo, was a major, it was a major in that community, because that's like the only way that the people could survive. So it's either you're a thief, picking pockets, you're a Yahoo boy, or you're playing football, or you're a bus conductor, which I actually did for 6 months of my life. I worked as a bus conductor for 6 months of my life. But the thing was, every single person in that place had a dream. But one of the picture I created for myself was, I was not going to dupe anybody to make money. I was not going to defraud anyone to make money. I was not going to steal from anyone. So I had a clear picture of what I wanted for my life. Now let me ask you, let's bring it down to sales. As a salesperson, what is the picture that you have for your life? As a salesperson, I'm sure that coming into 2025 for us, we had different things in mind. You had different goals. Some of you have dropped that diary right now. You are no longer checking it out. Oh, the things that you want to achieve, the things that you aim to achieve for the year 2025. But today, some of us have dropped that diary. We are no longer attending to that diary where you wrote the things that you want. What is that mental picture that you create for yourself? What is that picture? It's a rhetorical question, but it's something really, really important. So today I'm just going to charge us into what we're going to be dealing for this month. Now, what is vision? Let's head straight into it. What is vision? I'm sure that you have different definitions, and I've given you one today. It's a mental picture of the future, what you're trying to achieve. But I'll say it this way: vision is the ability to see farther than your eyes can look. And that was the definition that got stuck with me. It's the ability to see farther than your eyes can look. If you would agree with me today in Nigeria, your vision can be cut short because of the economical situation that is happening right now. A lot of persons had buried their dream and just chasing the daily survival. And I am coming to you tonight as a reminder that that vision, that dream that you are burying, is actually something that will keep you out of that struggle. You're struggling seriously right now. Right now. Seriously. Because we don't have all the things to achieve that vision. We don't have all the things to achieve that dream. But the truth is this: for every single person that I know today, I was listening to Mark Zuckerberg the other day, one of the lectures he was holding, and he said something very profound. He said, if every founder actually knows the end, they will not start. he said starting up Facebook for him was just to connect people. But as the dream grows, as the dream began to expand and bring in more people, the vision itself began to expand more. So we actually don't have a clear picture of what we want in mind, or the exact picture. Or let me put it this way, having the exact picture in mind but not understanding the road to head there, to go there. So there is a clear picture of connecting people, but how to get there, he didn't know. And this happened to every single person. As an organization, we have vision. As an individual, I have vision. For my family, I have a vision for my family. But the thing is this, how we would get there, I don't know. And the truth is, you don't have to know how to get there. But what I'm coming to you tonight is to challenge you and make sure that you are able to redesign that future that you're looking out for. I don't care what your age is right now. I don't care how old are you right now. I don't care what the situation is right now. If you allow all this to determine the vision for your life, then something is wrong somewhere. Something is wrong. Because your vision actually determines your decisions. And the quality of your decision is based on the quality of information that you bring into yourself. Many of us are here right now tonight. Like I said, I just want to charge you. You're here right now tonight. But the truth is this. Can you please mute yourself? Thank you. The truth is this. When you have a clear picture of where you are headed, as a salesperson, as an individual, for your business, and the thing is this, you being a salesperson right now, it means that you are a business entity on your own. Some of you treat sales like just there. That's the way we treat sales. Oh, it's just one of the things that we do. The best salespeople that I've worked with actually have a goal for themselves. They know that, oh, in 2025, this is the amount, and I talked about this in my last class, this is the amount I want to hit. How I would achieve this figure, I don't know. But this is the figure that I want. This is the kind of life that I want. This is the kind of life that I want to live. This is the kind of life that I want to give my family. Where you are currently is not an excuse. And I will say it again. Wherever you are right now is not an excuse. You still have the ability to create that picture that you want. So I am here to challenge you tonight that if you are going to go further with sales, if you're going to go further in life, you have to sit down and make sure that you define the kind of picture that you want for yourself. How much do you want to earn in 2025 as a salesperson? You being a realtor, I want to believe that everybody, or is there somebody that is not a realtor in this room? You're not a realtor. You don't sell property in this room. You don't sell property. Let me see your hands up. So there's nobody. So it means that everybody is selling property. Every single person. Now, let me ask you, what are you looking to achieve in 2025? How much are you looking to achieve in 2025? Because when you have the exact figure that you're looking to achieve, determines how much you would impute into yourself. It determines how much you would develop yourself. It determines how much you would work really hard to get to that destination. Am I making sense? Am I making sense? Am I making sense? So you're a salesperson and you have your dreams, you have your vision, you have your target for the year 2025. And this is March already and you're not way close to it. And the truth is this, it happens to everybody. It happens to me myself. Sometimes we fall short of our vision. Sometimes we fall short of our goal. But when you have a clear picture of where you are headed, the way to get there will start showing up. And that's what we want to do for the rest of this month. So today I just want to charge you up. That's all I want to do tonight. If you don't have a vision for your life before the next session, I want you to sit down and define exactly what you want to achieve. Exactly what you want to achieve. Nothing is too big. Let me be honest with you. Nothing, absolutely nothing is too big. And if you can put it in figures, please put it in figures. Maybe you can't put it in pictures. Put it in figures. Oh, I want to make this exact amount by the end of this year. And no amount, see. When God told Abraham, he said, as far as your eyes can see. Do you know what it means? It means that count the stars, count them. As much as you can count, so shall your seed be. What it means is, God gives every single person the ability to achieve beyond what they think. So your mind capacity is what determines how much you can achieve. That's just it. Your mind capacity determines how much you can achieve. So you don't want to limit yourself based on your background, based on your current situation, when you're setting the picture that you want to achieve. Some of you can say, oh, right now I'm earning 1 million naira, or I'm earning 500,000, or I'm earning 300,000. And you want to set a picture for yourself, and you're thinking based on that capacity. Now, I am challenging you that you set beyond what you think. That exact life that you want to live. That exact life that you dream for yourself. What is the picture that you have for your children? That's just it. What is the picture that you have for your travel life? What is the picture that you have for your sales? How much do you want to earn? As simple as that word can be. It's an open ticket. If somebody gives you a blank check right now and asks you to write any amount, so let me not say somebody. Let me use a very capable person. So if Elon Musk walks up to you right now, or you're having a conversation with Elon Musk, and he says, this is an open check. Write any figure you want. Any figure that you want to achieve. How much would you write? That's the question for yourself. Now, when he gives you the open check, he's not asking you to think based on the economy, what the economy can serve you. Because this is one complaint that I get a lot from people, and I keep saying it. Listen, the economy, as much as the economy is that people are building in this economy, people are buying jets in this economy, people are buying houses in billions of naira in this same economy. I know some of you say, oh, they are stealing the money. But the truth is, not everybody that is stealing the money. Not everybody. It is not everybody that is doing good that is stealing. This is a mindset that people have. That when somebody is doing good, then the person is stealing. So people are actually doing very, very good in this same economy that you're in. It's just that they have an information that you don't have. They have an understanding that you don't have. They have a knowledge that you don't have. What is that knowledge that will change you? And that is why we are here. I'm going to be bringing other persons to join me on this session. It won't just be me. But this month, I want to make sure that I handle the foundation myself. Because when the foundation is not solid enough, whatever you build on it can collapse. So the foundation is what we want to derive tonight. And all through this month, I'm going to be giving you I'll be teaching you how to actually achieve your vision. But at the same time, I want you to go back tonight and sit yourself down. You know, in church, they teach us to pray a lot. And they teach us to fast a lot. And as much as this is very, very important when it comes to achieving in life, praying and fasting is one major thing that I don't joke with. But the truth is this. Many times they tell us to think. And this is what I'm challenging you tonight. Your thinking period. You want to sit down and think about the future that you want. You want to create a mental picture of what you want. You know, I was reading one of the books by Bishop David Oyedepo, and something struck me in that book. I was trying to imagine what that man saw having to go into Otta when Otta was nothing. When he felt like there was absolutely nothing in that city. I was trying to imagine what that man saw. What was the picture in his mind? And today, as I speak with you, in the same city, they are building a 100,000 capacity. It was a 50,000 capacity that struck the world. It was a structure that struck the world. But in that same city, he's building a stadium capacity. I'm sure if you watch football very well, there are very few stadiums that have 100,000 capacity. Very few stadiums. I'm a Chelsea fan, and I love my stadium a lot. I love my Stamford Bridge a lot. But it's just a 45,000 capacity. Just 45,000. I'm not sure the Bernabeu, or the Camp Nou is over 100,000 capacity. But one man had a vision that he was going to move to a place that looks like there was nothing, and people will come from afar into that city. And today, that is exactly what is happening in that place. People come from afar into Otta just to make sure that they worship in that city. It was a city that was known for all sort of occultic things. Even till date, you still see some places in that place that still feels like that's what they believe in. But one man went into the same city and built a city for himself. One of the largest real estate in Africa is in that city, is in that place. The day I entered the Canaan city, I thought the church area was the end of it. Some people say that, oh, it's flying jets with tithe and offering. I'm off it. I don't want to get into that conversation. But I ask myself, I'm into real estate, but I ask myself a very simple question. What this man is holding here as real estate alone, what he has there as real estate, is enough for him to fly jets around. Not just one jet. He has the largest real estate in Africa in that city. But that didn't come from somebody just waking up and wishing that something would happen. It was somebody sitting down and creating a mental picture of what he wants to see. Yes, God told him to move into that city. But he has the responsibility to think for himself. He has the responsibility to think for himself, because when you have a vision, your vision will discipline you enough to making sure that you stay put. And that is one thing that you will see in the life of that man. So you want to sit yourself down and ask yourself questions. If you've not read any book about vision, I can recommend books for you. Go get any book by Miles Moreau on vision. Or you read any book by Bishop David Oyedepo on vision. Find any materials on vision and sit yourself down. If you're going to do it for 2, 3, 4, 5, 1 week, make sure you sit yourself down and ask yourself the question. And this was the question that I asked myself back then. What is this vision that these people are talking about that changed their life? What is it? What is that picture that I need to see? Am I thinking too small right now? Am I thinking too small? Because when you have a mental picture of where you are headed, even as much as everything is not working aligned with what you want right now, that picture will keep you going. Because you know that you are heading towards a destination. If you wake up in the morning and then you're heading to work and there's traffic on the road, would you say because of the traffic you turn back? Or you got to a destination and then the road is blocked? Are you going to turn back because of that? Because you are headed to work. Even though there is traffic, even though something is trying to break you, you would make sure that you still get to work. That's because you have a picture of you heading to work already. And that's the same thing with life. You see, when you have a vision for your life, life will eat you really hard. Really, really hard. Challenges will eat you really, really hard. And it happened to me. I was sharing with people how I lost a lot of money back then in 2021, and it felt like everything was crumbling against me. That was how it felt. It felt like everything was crumbling against me. But one of the things that God had helped me do was to create a picture. I know in my head, in my brain, and everything in my subconscious that I can never be poor. Never be poor. So it wasn't an option for me. I can't play a pity party to start wondering, oh, what is going to happen? Everything that needs to happen has to happen. I was sharing with people how I struck my first deal in real estate. I didn't have the money. I was negotiating like the money was available. Because I had a picture for myself. I know that, yes, I don't have everything that I need, but I have to make it happen. And I was negotiating with the landowners like I had the money. And when they said, come and pay for the property, that was when I went back to sit down. Now I've been able to negotiate with these people. I've been able to finish this deal with these people. So payment is the next thing. That was when I went to sit down and I drafted out a proposal for me to raise funds. But I knew where I was headed. Even though that I was in as a realtor, as at that time, I knew that the realtor space was not for me. Because the kind of money I am looking for, the kind of target that I have, working as a realtor can't get me that money. I have to move into the development space. So it was a picture in my head that I kept chasing. And I'm still chasing till date. I've not even scratched number 1. Not to talk of 100. I've not scratched 1% of what I want to achieve. But every single day, come rain, come sun, come shine, one of the things that wakes me up, one of the things that as much as I don't feel like doing it many times, one of the things that keeps me going is the fact that I have a picture in my head. So the question is, what is that picture that keeps you going? Ask yourself tonight. And for those of you in my life, what is that picture that keeps you going? When the situation is not looking like it, when the challenges in the country is beating you down, what is that picture that keeps you going? You can never go beyond what your eyes can see. Never. And these are laws that God had created into the universe. That if anybody, even a pagan, follows this law, they will get the result. They will get the result. Many of you have read about the failure of Elon Musk. I don't want to talk about Thomas Edison. Or maybe I'll talk about it later. But let's talk about the recent one that we know. It is the picture in that guy's mind that kept him going, even when everything looks like it's crumbling. Do you know how many times that guy failed? Just trying to get people into space. Do you know how much resources that guy burnt just to get people into space? People that are in their room that don't care about what he's doing. But he had a picture of getting people into the space. And he wanted to do it at an affordable rate for people. So when the crashes were happening, this was one thing that kept him going. It was one thing that kept him going. He was losing funds, he was losing resources, he was losing his investors' trust. At that point in time, it was enough for him to quit. But that guy kept going. Why? Because there is a mental picture of what he wants to achieve. And this picture is one thing that keeps him going. What is that thing that drives you every morning when you wake up? What is that dream that if you don't achieve, if you don't work on it for that particular day, something is wrong? Many times my body don't feel like doing it. In fact, for the past few months or few days, I've been really under the weather. Mentally stressed, physically stressed, emotionally stressed. Because this country can stress you. Doing business in Nigeria alone can stress you. In fact, doing real estate in Lagos can stress you because the odds is against you. Everything is against you. The policy is against you. Inflation is against you. But what is that thing that kept you going? What is that picture that you are seeing that keeps you going? And that's the question I want to ask you tonight. If you don't have that picture in your head, before we meet next week, I'm rounding up already, but before we meet again next week, I want you to sit yourself down and ask yourself this question. What is it that you're willing to die for? What is that thing that you're willing to die for? What is that thing that, in spite of all the challenges, all the financial challenges, economical challenges, emotional challenges, because a lot of persons are going through emotional challenges these days. We can't lie about that. The economy can make you fall into depression, but we keep going. What is that thing, that picture that you're seeing, that keeps you going? You can be an employee today. What is that picture that keeps you going for your life? As a salesperson. And as a salesperson, the truth is it can be figure. Figure motivates me a lot. When I know that when I achieve this figure, this is the kind of life that it will give me. This is the kind of freedom that it will give me. When you realize this, what is that freedom for yourself? What is the definition of that freedom for yourself? Pastor Nana, welcome. I shared this link really late with you. I didn't see the message on time. But all the way welcome. But we're rounding up already. But this is actually going to be a weekly session, 7 p.m. every week. 7 p.m. every week. It's going to be a weekly session for us. Every weekend, every Saturday, 7 p.m. This month, I'm going to be touching really hard on this vision. But one thing I want you to do for me today is to go back into your closet and sit yourself down. Take away all distraction. If you don't have your vision for your life yet, take away all distraction and think for the next 1 hour. What is that thing that I want to achieve before 2025 runs out? And this is just being the short. Also think of the long-term picture for your life. In the next 5, 4, 3, 2, 10 years, who do you want to become? What do you want people to say about you? What exactly do you want to come to people's mind when they think about you? What is that thing that you want people to say about you? I'm going to be stopping here tonight. I want you to have enough time to go back and think of what we've had tonight. Have enough time to think about it. Don't forget the definition. If you live here with nothing, all the definition here is a mental picture of the future that you desire. So the question for you tonight is, what is that mental picture? As a father, as a husband, as a wife, as a salesperson, as an individual that is just living life. Oh, you are not in the sales business, so this is not a topic for you. It cut across every single person. What is that picture that you desire for yourself? And for those of you that already have a picture for yourself, I want you to sit down and ask yourself, am I really, really in line with this picture? Am I walking in line with this picture that I have for myself? Every single day. What am I doing in line with the picture that I have for myself? Am I walking in line with the destination that I have for myself? Because when you know the destination, then you know the route to take. Because it will be foolish for me to want to go to, let me use Lekki Phase 1, for example. There are several routes to Lekki Phase 1. There are several routes to it. Different routes to Lekki Phase 1. But based on my location will determine where I will go through. But just imagine me, and this had happened to me one particular day. In fact, that was the day that I got to find out the power of vision. I had no destination in mind. I had nowhere to go to. I was just bored in the house. I was seriously bored. And this, I was still single then. I was not married. Now I have beautiful family that makes me never get bored in the house. In fact, you cannot even get bored around my kids. I was much single and I was really bored in the house. So I just wanted to leave the house. I had no destination in mind. I had no place to go to. So you know what I did? I went into the car and I just drove out of my compound and I was driving. I drove for about 20-30 minutes and I asked myself the question, where exactly am I going to? Where exactly am I going to right now? And I could not give an answer to that question. I could not. There was nobody for me to call. It was working hour. My friends would probably be at work at that point in time. I had no destination. I had no clue where I was going to in mind. So because I could not answer this question, I had no choice than to turn back. And then I came back to the same house that was bored, that I left. And this is one way that many of us live our life today. The life is boring right now. It feels like nothing is working right now. It feels like all the odds are against you. Let me be honest with you, it's because you don't have a picture of what you want to achieve. If you have a picture, you will never be bored. Never. Because there's a destination, all you'll be thinking in your head is how to get to that destination. That's the only thing you'll be thinking in your head. How you will get to that destination. Because you already have a destination in mind. But when there is no destination, do you know what I did that day? I wasted my time, I wasted my resources. Because I had to drive out, so I burnt my fuel. I wasted resources, I wasted my time, and I came back to the same point that I was. Many times we drive in circle, moving from this point A to point B without achieving anything, because in the first place we had no picture of what we want to achieve in mind. But if I left the house and say, oh, I'm heading to this particular destination, or I'm heading to this restaurant, or I'm heading to this particular place, I would just drive straight down there without being worried about where I was going to. But because I had no destination, I had no clue of where I was going to, I had no place to go. So I had to come back to the same house that felt boring to me and continued in the same circle. Are you living in a boring life right now? Ask yourself that question. Does it feel like life has no meaning right now? Does it feel like all the odds are against you and you don't even know what to do right now? I challenge you tonight. Go and get a vision for your life. Go and get a vision for your life. As much as I'm going to be teaching you what to do and how to get visions for your life and how to design proper God's plan vision for your life, I want you to go back tonight and sit down and ask yourself questions. What do you want to achieve? Where is that destination that you want to go to? I'm sure that we've had a wonderful time tonight. Are we having a wonderful time already? Or you guys are quiet for me? Alright, for us that are online, I just want to see your thumbs up. So I'm rounding up already. Thank you very much. By next week, we're actually going to dive into this topic full time. I'm sure you don't want to miss next week's class. Same time, same medium. I'm going to be live, so you want to share with your friends. You want to tell your friends. You want even your enemies to join. Same time, 7 p.m. Today I had a delay next week I'm sure that we're going to be kicking off early, so because we're going to be taking a lengthy one. Today I knew it was going to be introduction, so I know that it was going to be a short one, but we're going to be having a lengthy one next week, so you want to be live on time. And I'm glad that many of us came really early today. Thank you very much. So I'm going to leave room for questions. Yes. I can hear you clearly. Yes, sir, Mr. Brian, thank you. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you very much. Thank you so much, sir. I really appreciate it. Yes, sir. Thank you, Mr. Ibrahim. So if you have questions for me, I'm actually not expecting much questions because today is just a charge. By next week, we'll have a series of questions to ask. I'm sure that we have a series of questions to ask. All right, so in the absence of question, I would leave you to the admin to continue with you. Thank you very much once again for joining this session. Thank you to everybody on our live session, live on YouTube, live on our Instagram. Thank you for joining. You want to stay tuned to this channel, to this page, because every weekend, every Saturday, 7 p.m., I'm going to be sharing with you. Like I said, this month, for those of you that are joining us late, this month we're going to be touching the topic vision and how people can create mental pictures that would create a better life for ourselves. Thank you so much. I really appreciate you guys. Have a wonderful time ahead.